Hello and welcome to the Swinging Bunt Podcast, a podcast that not only does it know how to record its video, but we also know how to get our hosts on camera. Mitch, Mac, how you guys doing today?
Good. Just happy to be here.
You are? I haven't seen you in a few weeks, Mac. What, since week 1, week 2, maybe?
Yeah, it's been busy here at the LU.
How's Liberty?
Busy.
Liberty.
Yeah, getting in the heat of things.
What's your position exactly there?
I'm a grad assistant in the athletic events and facilities.
So what do you do?
My role is game ops. So I work with men's and women's tennis, men's and women's soccer, and football.
Oh, cool. All right, today we are going to recap the action in week 4 of the NFL season. Also, as of yesterday, this episode is, by the way, being recorded on October 6th, Wednesday, October 6th. Right now, the wild card game between the Dodgers and the Cardinals is going on. Yesterday, the Red Sox defeated the Yankees. We'll be discussing that a little bit. And then we'll be giving our projections and preview of the MLB playoffs at the end of the show. Hope you guys enjoy it. All right, Mitch, Mac, how did week 4 treat you?
But as far as fantasy, our team, what?
Well, I don't know. Just did you enjoy week 4 of NFL football?
I did.
Yes,
I enjoyed week 4 of fantasy football and regular football.
Yeah.
This week 4, I got NFL Red Zone for the first time.
Ooh.
And I don't think I'll ever go back.
Did you pay for it?
No.
Yes, say yes.
Okay.
You have to say yes.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
I didn't pay for it. My roommate did.
Oh, okay. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I always have one screen of NFL Red Zone. Like I absolutely have to. It's just
just nonstop action.
Yeah, you miss so much otherwise. So yeah, NFL Red Zone, way to go. This is our sponsored segment for NFL Red Zone.
7 hours of commercial-free football.
This was one of the weeks that Mitch and I on week 1, we had gone through and circled weekends that we wanted to try to find a way to get together and watch the games. And this is one of the weeks that we had circled because there was a lot of good games scheduled this week. You talk about the return of Tom Brady to New England. Talk about Chargers versus
that was a Monday night game, but Raiders.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the whole week in general. Yeah, Chargers Raiders was a good game. Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks, 49ers. There's just a lot of really high intensity games that I think people were looking forward to seeing. So we'll talk about some of those big games starting right now. I think the biggest one, we may as well not bury the lead. Buccaneers, Tom Brady returning to New England. That Sunday night game had a lot of hype, and I wasn't sure if it was going to live up to it. I wasn't sure if the Patriots were going to just lay an egg and Tom Brady was just going to put up 50-plus points on them because I knew that the Patriots weren't able to do that. I think the weather, all that rain they had, really helped level the playing field quite a bit. Did you guys catch that game at all?
I did not.
No, you missed it, dude. Oh man, it's a historic game. He became the 4th quarterback ever to beat every single NFL team. Mitch, did you watch it?
That's crazy.
I did not.
Really? Oh man, you guys really missed out.
Sunday night. I can't remember what I was
probably
doing
sleeping, Mitch.
Well, I worked all Sunday morning, and then I come back and I watch whatever 3:00 game I can get. And then I usually need to hang out with mine. So I usually miss Sunday night games.
Yeah. Well, Sunday night games are usually the best game of the week. So you should try to watch those. It was really good. At one point, Mac Jones had a 19 straight completions.
Wow.
And it tied Tom Brady's career record. So that was kind of cool. And he had some good throws too. I mean, nothing huge. His biggest pass play of the game was 23 yards. And it was a screenplay to Damien Harris where Damien made like 4 guys miss. So that's one thing. If Patriots fans have something to worry about is Mac Jones isn't really pushing the ball downfield. But I think they're intentionally keeping him from doing that so he doesn't become Zach Wilson just throwing picks left and right.
Yeah. I would bet that's more game script than anything.
Yeah,
no way
I think so.
Can't throw the ball downfield.
No, he absolutely can. I think they're just trying to say make good decisions and win the games or just get better now by keeping things simple. And
yeah,
if your first read's open, hit him.
You make 19 completions in a row. You're advancing the ball.
Yep, exactly.
You don't need to advance 25 yards at a time.
It's like running. They only ran the ball 7 times for -3 yards. So the Bucs defense is one of the best out there, especially their run defense. Their pass defense is suspect. But it was really fun. I really enjoyed seeing Tom Brady come onto the field as he ran out of the tunnel, and they cheer for him, Brady. I mean, you just see how everyone's excited to see him, but the moment he steps on to play, they're booing him. Yeah. It was just, but that's honestly how we've all felt. We've been like you can't hate Tom Brady. You know, he won you 6 rings. He's played here for 20 years. Everyone loves him, but he's on the other team now, so we're not going to cheer for him. There's no way. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed watching that game. It was a once in a lifetime thing. I don't think we'll ever see him play the Patriots ever again, at least not in Foxborough. So really, really cool experience. Any other games that you guys that jumped out to you?
I think Thursday night was
Jacksonville.
Before that, I wanted to talk one thing I wrote down. Make sure we talk about it. So did you guys see how that game ended, the Patriots-Bucks game?
nope.
No, I didn't watch.
Okay, let me lay it down for you. The first half, the Patriots or the Bucks were up 7-6 going into halftime. Okay. Really slow moving game. Bucks had been driven a couple times. They kicked 3 field goals, made 2 of them. Then at the end of the game, the Bucks take a 2-point lead, a 1 or 2 point lead with like a minute 55 left. And the Patriots had 2 timeouts. And Mac Jones starts driving down the field. He gets a passing interference call. It moves him up quite a bit. And then they get to like the 43-yard line, I think. And it's 3rd and 3. And with 55 seconds left on 3rd and 3, he rolls to his right and tries to throw a pass that gets batted down. And he had Jacoby Myers wide open for the first, and just the lineman batted it down. So it's 4th and 3, 55 seconds left. Nick Folk had made like 19 straight, or maybe he's 20 something. He made I think it's 19 straight field goals in a row. Okay. Longest current streak in the NFL. And they line up to kick the ball for a 56-yard field goal. His career long field goal is 56 yards 11 years ago. And he's been dealing with a hip issue, and it's raining. And they decided to kick it on 4th and 3 from 56 yards. I thought to myself right away, even if you make this kick, you're still giving the ball to Tom Brady with 50 seconds left and 2 timeouts. Or maybe there's one time out. Maybe there's one timeout left. I didn't like the call. What are your guys' thoughts in that situation? Would you have gone for it? I know it's a rookie quarterback, but you go for it, and now the clock's moving, and you're at least 3 yards closer, and you can keep trying to get the ball closer, bleed the clock, and then you kick that ball as time expires. And they've got no way. So it's either you make it and you win, or you lose it on the miss. What do you think? They ended up kicking the ball, and he doinked it on the left upright. So what was your thought process? What would you have done?
I'd say, sorry, totally just blank there.
It's okay. The decisions go for it on 4th and 3, so you get a better chance of getting closer and letting the time bleed out.
3 options, or the options you have is you go for it on 4th and 3 and you make it. You go for it on 4th and 3 and you don't. You kick it and you make it, or you kick it and you miss. So you got 4 options. And the go for it and you make it, I think, is
the highest percentage to win for sure.
I mean, to win, but to happen, I think is one of the least likely. You're going against, you're going against a really good D. You're knowing that Mac Jones is not throwing the ball downfield, that he's throwing little short passes.
He only has to go 3 yards.
3 yards is a long way, especially when you're going against one of the best defenses in the league.
But they're really bad pass defense, though.
I don't think there's anything I'm going to say that's going to change your mind here. So.
Oh no, it's not. I'm just.
I don't know why I'm telling you what.
No, that's what discussion on a podcast is all about. Giving your opinion, arguing about it. I don't think that he was 31 of 40 on the night, so over 75% passer rating. He had been able to move the ball in short passes all night long. So it just didn't make sense.
Been able to move the ball in 4th down in 3 situations.
They hadn't had that situation.
No. So
actually, they went for 4th twice and made it. It's just different on 4th down. Yeah, you're right. It is.
It is. If you have a 1st and 10 and a 4th and 10, it's just different.
100%.
The defense plays differently. I don't know that, kicking it's the right call, but I'm also Belichick. Belichick's one of the best play callers, one of the best coaches. So I'm not gonna.
To me, I just look at, even if you make it, I still think you probably lose the game, because I think Brady gets in field goal range. So to me, it's like when you weigh the weight of those seconds that are available, and then even I think that making a 56-yard field goal, the odds of that with the kicker you have while he's injured in the rain, to me is a lower percentage chance of converting on 4th and 3. I mean, I don't have the stats to back that up, but to me, I just feel like I don't think those are very good odds. I would rather risk it and have a sure win in my pocket than, even if I do convert this low odd play, I still probably will lose because Tom Brady coming against me. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, and if you go for 4th and 3 and you lose, the game's over immediately.
Yep. Yeah. But as soon as they missed, the game was over immediately too, because they just kneeled the ball and it was over. So, yeah. Mac, what would you have done?
I'd like to say I would go for it, but I probably would have kicked it.
Really? Interesting. Well, and then you two would also have lost. But who knows? I may have lost as well. That's how I feel about it. I feel like in either one, if you fail on either opportunity, it's a loss either way. But at least if you can succeed with the one, it's practically a guaranteed win. Where with the other, even if you succeed, you still could probably lose.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to another game. What was the other game you guys want to talk about? Thursday night, you said?
Jacksonville Bengals.
I thought there was a lot of like hype around the Jacksonville Bengals. I mean, 2 number 1 picks facing off.
And it was interesting too.
Yeah, it was a good game.
I mean, Jacksonville went up like 14-0 at the halftime. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, ended up losing. And
That's
Trevor Lawrence
legal.
really didn't look that bad. He's looked not very good at all these first couple of weeks. So he finally didn't look terrible. I think he still threw an interception though, didn't he?
Yeah, he threw. I think he went.
I don't think he had a passing touchdown either.
Yeah, he ran for
He
one,
ran for 1.
and James Robinson ran for 2, and then they had a couple field goals, right?
But he didn't look that bad.
No.
I'm sure Urban Meyer is going to get fired here in the next 24 hours.
You think so?
I don't know why you wouldn't. I
He
mean,
just hired him.
when did Dan Quinn get fired last year?
Dan
Was it
Quinn
after-
had been
I know, but-
coaching for like 10 years.
I know, but he was like what 0-5, 0-6 last
Yeah.
year, and then same with
Well, you have to give him time to.
That's how I feel about it. Like,
I just think, and then you go with like what's going on in his personal life and what
Yeah.
you're hearing coming out of the locker room, that nobody really likes this guy, nobody trusts this guy. If you're
he
the
doesn't have the respect of his players.
yeah,
And that's where it
you're
comes
gonna
in more
wait
for me.
around and ruin supposedly one of the best rookie QBs to ever come into the league.
If
You're
it
just
wasn't,
gonna let him Adam Gase him, like come on.
if the only issue was that they were losing, then I would say there's no way you fire a rookie coach in his first year after 4 weeks when you had the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Like, if you're expecting you to have a good team after being the
1
worst
year.
team in the league
Yeah.
in 4 weeks, then you're a stupid organization that's no business firing and hiring head coaches. So I don't think that what he's done so far this season, even garnishing the respect of his team, like that takes time. He's never coached NFL players, and his NFL players know that. So I think that that's going to take time for them to earn his respect. So if I were the organization, I wouldn't fire based on that alone. But then you add in the whole thing with being at a club and having this girl all over you and being taped on it and everything when you're a married man and you're a leader of this organization. Like, it's a bad look. Now, did he do some egregious thing? No, I mean, he wasn't like harassing anyone or anything, but I understand how it's a bad look, but it's not like he did anything illegal. You know what I mean? Sure. Us
wouldn't
three
be-
as Christian guys wouldn't like that, but the world doesn't consider that to be a bad thing. You know,
Well,
I mean, all of his players are doing that.
yeah,
I still think he's gonna get fired.
I don't think so.
I don't.
And if he does, then like this was all set up. Like he did this on purpose.
Well, I don't think he's trying to get fired, but if he does, then I would say like it's the excuse that they've been looking for, you know,
Yeah.
more so.
I
So,
think
like,
you need to have credibility in the locker room, and he has 0.
he does not. That is for sure.
So
I mean,
from a purely coaching standpoint, NFL, whatever, you want to go down to T-ball, you got to have some credibility as a coach. And if you don't, you're not going to win games.
yeah,
If
no,
you're
I
not
agree with.
not going to coach people to become better. You're not doing your job. So
They pretty
think-
much say you've lost your job once you've lost respect to the locker room. So I agree with that. Point.
it sounds like he never really had it. So
Yeah. So he's either got to turn things around pretty quick, but I don't see him having a prolonged career in the NFL.
I think his first step should
Which is
be
fine. As a Michigan fan, I don't like him anyways. Although I did meet him once when I used to work washing boats in Lake Erie. He came to one of the yacht clubs and was on one of the boats that I washed regularly.
with a mistress.
No mistress. No mistress. Just
If he,
I think he was at like an alumni's booster event or something like that.
If you would have kept Tim Tebow on the team, this would have never happened.
Oh, for sure. Tim Tebow would have been like, Coach, now you don't want to be going down to that club there, Coach. Okay. Now we had quite a few injuries from this game. Joe Mixon, DJ Chark both got injured. That's kind of sad news, but DJ Chark looks like he's done for the year, correct?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Joe Mixon, though, he should be fine.
Yeah.
Washington
was another good game.
Yeah, Washington versus Washington football team and
I don't know.
Who
Who do
Washington
remember
played-
either.
was it the Giants? No, not the Giants.
The nope.
The Giants beat.
Dolphins?
No.
Why don't I'm looking up NFL Week 4 schedule.
Oh, we know this stuff ahead of time.
Yeah, because Trey Lance had that, or not Trey Lance.
Falcons.
Yes, Falcons. Yeah, because he had that pass where he was falling, like practically falling down, just lobbed it up in the air. I
Yeah,
mean, the
to
Falcons.
McKissick.
The Falcons. Yeah, they're so bad, man. I mean, there's nothing good you can say about them.
Cordell
They gave up
Patterson.
talking about Cordell Patterson, Calvin Ridley.
No, I mean, like as a team, like they can't do anything. Matt Ryan looked the best he has this year so far, but even though they put up 30, they're going to lose because their defense is just so bad.
Yeah.
Also, what the heck, Cordell Patterson,
Three
three
touchdowns.
touchdowns on like 12 plays. He was in 12 or 13 plays and he had 3 touchdowns. That is insanity.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
I don't think that keeps
those
up.
are Robert Tunyon numbers from last year.
Yeah. Oh, touchdowns are not a sticky stat. So I wouldn't expect this to last all year long, but I do think he's going to be like he's clearly using the game plan. I don't see that.
Like a Taysom Hill kind of player.
Yeah, similar to that, but a little more athletic.
Wildcat.
I don't understand what's taking people so long to get Cordell Patterson to be a good player. 'Cause he's been in the league for a long time, and he was always one of the most explosive players to open field. Like he could potentially go into the Hall of Fame just as a returner.
That's why. Yeah. See, that's why he was a kick returner.
Mhm.
He was good in the open field.
I never got why he was never good on offense.
Because he wasn't with the Bears.
Yes, and the Vikings.
Those aren't like the most stellar of programs.
Yeah,
I guess neither are this Atlanta, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess sometimes that's all it takes, though, is a change of scenery. I mean, look at Sam Darnold. That's another game we should talk about.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, your NFL rushing leader as far as touchdown goes.
Yep.
He looks like a totally different player. Now they still lost the Cowboys, so I think are starting to show
He's
they're
not-
one of the most talented teams in the league. But Darnold
not
looks really
thinking-
good.
he's like he's kind of doing a little bit of a Josh Allen
Yeah,
from a couple years ago.
I mean, he had 2 passing touchdowns, right? 2 rushing touchdowns.
If anything, I
Um,
think it just goes to show how bad of a coach Adam Gase is.
He's so bad, so
I feel bad for
incredibly
Zach
bad.
Wilson.
Things could change. Oh, is Adam Gase is fired? Mitch.
That's right. I knew that.
Yeah, Robert Saleh is in
Sorry,
New
I know
York.
Robert Saleh is the new because he came from the Niners. He was the
Yes.
Niners defensive coach. I knew that. I don't feel bad for Zach Wilson. I would have felt bad for Zach Wilson.
Was that? I guess we're transferring really well. Now, do you guys think the Cowboys are a real deal?
Yes.
I think they just got a new defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah, and Trayvon Diggs seems to be making a huge
Oh,
impact.
Diggs
He's
looks
leading.
amazing. He looks
he's-
so good.
He's leading the league in interceptions. And
Very
if
good.
you have one solid DB, it can be a game changer for your defense because now you can play man-to-man coverage, which allows you to have
Oh,
more guys
yeah.
in the box to stop the run.
Yep.
So
And I think just Dallas has so many playmakers. I mean, between Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Dak Prescott. I mean, that is just nothing. Nobody's safe on any offensive play.
well, I mean, their third and fourth receivers, Cedric Wilson and Michael Gallup, and then you got Dawson Schultz and Blake Jarwin. Those are all like high caliber players. I mean, they're not like all superstars, but they're all good.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are very good, and I think I've said this since the beginning that they'll win that division. I think
Yeah,
with
yeah.
ease.
I think they'll win the division.
Yeah, I think we all expected Washington to be better.
Yeah.
Especially their defense.
Washington's defense has been a huge disappointment this year.
Yes.
Huge. I think Toby kind of told us that it would be too. So we should.
I also, speaking of Washington, I know we were just talking about it. Taylor Heineke, I feel like he's not getting enough love. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, do you
Talk
think he's an
about-
elite level quarterback?
I think he's a gamer.
I think that's what people see him as. He's a
Scrappy
hard
Coco.
He's a
player,
gamer.
scrappy guy, but like
But he's getting it. He's getting it done. I mean, like he's not like coming out and throwing, 3 touchdowns, 350 yards, and no interceptions. But like he's there, and he's doing so much more than so many quarterbacks in the league right now.
that's what I was about to say. He's worthy of being an NFL starting quarterback, but he's not a top 15 guy. He's not top half.
He might be.
Okay.
I think we're not going to list out 16.
I think we
quarterbacks
should.
right now.
I think we should. I think it'd be fun.
Fine.
So you got
Derek
Mahomes,
Carr.
Allen, Mahomes,
starting
Allen,
at 16,
Herbert,
right?
Brady. Okay, Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Brady.
Rodgers.
Rogers,
Well,
Stafford,
let me write it.
Prescott. Yeah, write it down.
That's 8.
Okay, well, let's let Mac write it down here.
Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady, Allen, Lamar,
Yeah, Lamar. Prescott,
Prescott.
Rodgers,
Got it.
Wilson.
Wilson. Do you have Allen?
Yeah.
Tannehill?
Tannehill.
Look at Tannehill's numbers this year.
He's good.
He's a good quarterback.
He's
know.
top half.
He just
Carr.
lost Antonio and AJ Brown this
Look
the
at
Derek
last
Carr.
2 weeks.
Just look at his numbers this year.
We're not
you
going to
looked at
pretend Taylor Haneke is better than Ryan Tannehill.
Have you looked at his numbers this year?
Huh?
Have you
Mitch,
looked at
Mitch, I don't have
look
to.
at Ryan Tannehill's
I
stats.
know Ryan Tannehill is a better quarterback than Taylor Haneke. Saying anything else is crazy.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr is better.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. Yep. Baker Mayfield.
Uh,
Okay, I'm willing for that one to be pointed.
that could be like 17.
Sam Darnold though.
Darnold.
Jalen Hurts has been this year better for sure.
Hurts. Yeah, for sure. Hurts.
We're not going to pretend that Heineke's not better than
That's
Hurts.
12.
You're looking at this year.
Jimmy G.
No.
No.
I hate
He
stupid.
throws the ball backwards.
Do we have Justin Herbert?
Stafford.
Yep, Stafford for sure.
We don't have Herbert. Oh,
Do you have
boy.
Darnold on there?
Yeah.
Do you put Hurts on there?
Yep. So Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady, Allen, Lamar, Dak, Russell Wilson, Tannehill, Carr,
Oh, Kirk Cousins.
Murray.
Cousins has been playing so well.
I just watched him in that. He looked really bad in that last
Oh
game.
my
But
gosh.
that's all. I've
He's
seen
playing
of
the
him.
Browns defense. They have an amazing defense.
He's got an amazing receiver.
Yeah.
That's 15. We need one more.
Okay, I gotta find one more. Did you put Mayfield in?
I did not.
I
He
think
could be 15.
Mayfield is better than Heineke.
Do we like Goff?
No, I would put. I mean, we probably should say Goff over Heineke, but I personally don't think Goff is very good. So, but that is closer than
Daniel
I expected.
Jones.
No,
What?
you think Heike's better than Daniel Jones?
Danny
Daniel
Dimes?
Jones, he turns the ball over so much, Mitchell. But yeah, maybe okay. And then you can talk about all the rookies too. Like I'd rather, if I'm going to start a team, I'd rather have Mac Jones. I'd rather have Justin Fields. I'd rather have Trey Lance.
We're
I'd rather
not
have
talking
Trevor.
like long term.
Right.
We're talking this.
Yeah, sure. Oh, Carson Wentz.
Do you know where Ryan Tannehill is this year on stats?
I haven't looked at his stats this year, Mitchell.
He's the QB.
I don't care where he is. He could be the QB 32.
He's the QB 22. Do you know where
Okay.
Taylor Heineke is?
Where?
QB 13.
Okay, like I said, I don't care
Top
where
half.
he is.
Top half.
I don't care where he is statistically. I'm talking about who is the better quarterback. Okay, not who's had better games.
I'm looking at stats.
Okay, sure,
I'm
Mitch.
looking at stats
You
right
can
now. I'm
use
talking
you can
about-
use your
I'm
statistics to
talking about-
lie with statistics and say statistically so far he is the 13th best quarterback statistically. But when I tell you
Oh,
talent wise,
he left.
when I tell you talent wise who's the better quarterback, Tannehill's a better quarterback. And I think arguing otherwise is just showing your lack of intelligence and football knowledge.
I'm putting Daniel Jones in at 15. or
That's
16.
ridiculous, Mac. It's ridiculous.
I'd rather have Danny Dimes than Baker.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to another game. Hopefully Mitch rejoins us.
I just want to let you know I know nothing about baseball, so
That's fine. We'll make it work. 49ers Seattle. What the heck 49ers?
yeah, that was okay. So I actually watched that game without red zone,
I certainly hope so.
and our defense was incredible first half, and we just could not take advantage of it.
I mean,
So we
go ahead.
went in at halftime 7-7, and then just got torn apart. in the
Yeah,
second
you
half.
literally shut down their D in the first half. I mean,
Their
it was
offense.
their offense. It
Yeah.
was a dominating performance. And then by the time the second half came around, Seattle came out. I was like, we're just gonna do whatever we feel like.
Yeah.
When I got to see the debut of Trey Lance, what'd you think?
I actually didn't watch too much of the second half.
Oh my gosh, what in the world?
I know. I was just it just didn't compare to red zone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I actually didn't really see a lot of him.
Okay.
I've seen some clips on Twitter.
So yeah,
I
I mean,
think-
it was very up and down. He had some good plays. I mean, the 76-yard or whatever, 80-yard touchdown to Deebo Samuel. Deebo was wide.
Oh,
open.
I did see that one. Mitchell
so,
was
I mean-
critiquing him because he threw it behind him.
I just, yeah, he did throw it behind him. I didn't see the hype that we were talking about in all the preseason.
Yeah.
Granted, it was his first game out and he didn't know he was starting, but some highs and definitely some lows. So he wasn't able to get the job done against the Seahawks, who we know have a pretty porous defense. So
I don't think he has hardly any first team reps. So I think give him a week of first team reps and practices.
No, I
Man.
definitely expect him to do better next
The
week.
mentality,
Yeah.
mentally prepared to start.
Yeah, it makes it honestly, it really makes a big difference. Did you think Mitch quit because he was mad that we were arguing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
That's like the best audio you can have on a podcast is people arguing. Everyone loves hearing people argue.
He quit.
It's off.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's Mitch.
Whatever. Okay. All right. So after that, another game, Cleveland, Minnesota. Man, that was a weird game. So low scoring. Baker Mayfield looked really, really bad. Did you see that one at all in red zone?
I did.
Oh my
so
God.
just
Okay.
like the highlights. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's bad.
Kareem Hunt had a nice game. Dalvin Cook was in and out with injury. Kirk Cousins couldn't really get anything moving just because the Browns are they're just so dominating in every facet of defense. I mean, the final score was like something like 14-7, I think, something like that. Or maybe, yeah. Either way, it was really low scoring, not a ton of fun to watch, but Baker Mayfield looked really, really bad. And I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a top 8 quarterback. I think
Top
he's somewhere around top half, top 10, but
Better
it's
than
going to be
Daniel
hard. I
Jones?
mean, they have one of the most well-rounded teams in football. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt are elite. Both of them
Yeah.
are elite. And Odell and Jarvis Landry should both be top half receivers, at least. I mean, Odell should be elite.
Landry's out for some period of time.
Landry's on the IR, yeah. But I mean, the other receivers you have there, Rashard Higgins, Donovan Peoples-Jones, they're good. They're good pieces.
Yeah.
And then your defense is probably the best defense in the league. You should make such a deep playoff run with that if you just have a good quarterback. Average quarterback, I can understand having some mistakes. And I think right now, the way Baker played, at least this week, he looks like an average quarterback to me. So can you still hear me?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that is not a sign of who Baker Mayfield is, but I suppose we'll have to see.
We haven't really seen the hype of Odell. Like this was supposed to be like a big return and the chemistry between.
I mean, his first
Baker.
week last week, it was pretty okay. He had a few nice catches. But Baker even said we haven't practiced a lot together. And last year he was out almost the entire year. And the year before that, we had on and off injuries as well. We just weren't a good team 2 years ago. So it's like they haven't had time to really sync up together. So I do think it's going to take them some time to get some chemistry like you're talking about. I'm a believer in the Browns this year, and I think that they got a good shot at representing the AFC, at least making to the AFC Championship. I don't think the Chiefs are the team they were last year. At least it's not looking like it. Man, the Bills look like something else right now, though.
What are the Chiefs? 2-2.
Chiefs are 2-2, as they just won this week. Bills are 4-0, and they won 40-0. Their last 3 games, they have like a combined 128-19 as their point spread, or something like that. So. Bills look pretty decent. And if they get their defense together, they have their offense and their defense together. I don't know how anyone stops them. So I expect them to probably shatter my Super Bowl pick. I think the Bills look really good. What's another game? Oh man, Ben Roethlisberger needs to retire and just let the team tank.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks so incredibly bad. I can't state it enough. I mean, every play you see of him is a bad throw. And like you have your players crying on the sideline, like Najee Harris was legitimately crying on the sideline. Juju Smith-Schuster grabs his Microsoft Surface, like throws it on the ground and puts his hands in his eyes. Looks like he's crying too. It's like, what do you have going on with that team that they just have like
just losing,
I think, and being upset with themselves.
Horrible expectations. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people thought that they were this division, the NFC North was kind of like wide open, except for probably the Bengals, But the other 3 teams, everyone thought all of the other 3 teams had a legitimate shot at winning the division. If you win the division, you've got a decent shot at the Super Bowl because you have 3 more games to win and you're in.
Yeah.
But the Steelers look like one of the worst teams in the league right now because they're led by one of the worst quarterbacks. I think legitimately, if I was going to rank all the starting quarterbacks in football, it would go all the guys on the bench, Davis Mills, Ben Roethlisberger, and maybe Ben Roethlisberger below Davis Mills.
It's -8 fantasy points.
It's just so bad.
Well, do you trust Haskins or Hodges?
No? That's the thing. I think not Hodges. It's Mason Rudolph, right?
Oh, Rudolph, yeah.
Yeah, I think Mason Rudolph and Haskins are worse. But if I am this team, I'm saying Ben, we need you to step down.
Yeah.
Like I know that you've led our team to 2 Super Bowls and you've been the face of this franchise for the last 20 years, but you're hurting our team so much more than you're helping it. You're gonna
It's kind of sad that he doesn't recognize that,
he really
or
needs
that he
to.
won't.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
really needs to recognize that. If I were him, I would fake an injury or something, because it would, you're right. It would not be good for like his honor if he just like gave up in the middle of the season that he committed
Yeah.
to. But at least then you could see if you have anything in Haskins, like, because Haskins is playing for Washington last year by a coach who got fired,
Yeah.
So maybe, and there was a lot of issues with like attitude and stuff. So maybe
Also like partying, right? Didn't he like?
So maybe underneath a new coach, like Mike Tomlin might be able to say, hey, get your act together. Let's see if you got something. And then at least you can use that this rest of this season to say, let's see if we got something Haskins. If we don't, we need to draft a quarterback. But if you try to do something with Big Ben, even if you get to the end of the year and Roethlisberger is playing well enough to get you like 8 or 9 wins, great.
Yeah.
Now you don't have a good pick in the draft and you barely made the playoffs, or you just missed the playoffs, right? What's that?
Yeah.
This team's not winning the Super Bowl. There's no way. Okay.
Yeah.
So at least then you can at least find out what you have, lose some games, and get a good draft pick. But
isn't it crazy that they're like 12-0 last year?
It's nuts. I mean, but that's the thing. Their defense is that good.
Yeah.
When it's healthy. I know they lost a lot of guys a couple weeks ago, but their defense is that good.
It's too bad they didn't get like a quarterback earlier. Or I don't know what they had planned with these other backup QBs, but that Ben could have like mentored and helped out.
They drafted with their first pick a running back, like, which is statistically proven to be the least a high round running back is like the least long-term important investment you can make as a football team. Like linemen pay huge dividends. If you hit on a lineman, it makes a huge impact for your chance to win a Super Bowl, because for the next 10 years, you've got a guy that can protect your quarterback. Quarterbacks are, of course, the number one. You hit on a quarterback, it makes a huge impact for your team because you have a chance to win a Super Bowl. But like, you can have the best running back in the league, and it doesn't matter. You have no shot to win the Super Bowl if you don't have good linemen, good defense, and good quarterback. I mean, look at the Panthers. They've been one of the worst play teams in the league for the last 6 years, and they've had Christian McCaffrey,
Yeah.
So hitting on running back is not important. It's just not, because you can wait until you've got a good team and then draft a good young running back. Because if a running back's got a good body, he's probably going to be a good running back,
Yeah.
You can draft a rookie and say, all right, we've got this great team. Let's grab Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And when we need someone to get us 5 yards, we got someone that can get us 5 yards, right?
Yeah.
But these teams that are bad are trying to draft running backs early when that's not the piece you need. You needed a lineman or a quarterback or a receiver or a DB or a linebacker, right? And
where did Penei Sewell end up?
Sewell went to Cincinnati.
Okay. Really? They did get him?
So the number one guy that everyone wanted was what was his name? What was the number one lineman? Was it Sewell? I forget.
I thought it was Sewell.
Maybe I'm forgetting. I thought Sewell was the second lineman that everybody wanted. Let me see. Penei Sewell. Because I know that everyone thought the Bengals should take a lineman, and then he went to the Lions.
He's with the Lions, yeah.
Yes. Well, then
Bengals got the wide receiver.
Yeah, they got Jamar Chase, but I thought they came back and got a lineman later, though. Bengals 2021 draft. So I know they got a lineman later, right? Let's see here. Jamar Chase, Jackson Carman. Is that the lineman? Yeah, offensive tackle. So they got Jackson Carman with their second pick. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, yeah. So Sewell was the one everyone thought should have gone. Green Bay beat up on Pittsburgh big time. Baltimore, Denver. Did you see how the Baltimore game ended?
No.
So Baltimore was up 14 points, and Denver drove down the field with like 30 seconds left or whatever to get a touchdown.
Drew Lock as quarterback?
Drew Lock as quarterback because, what's his face was done? Teddy. Well, the Bengals have this long-standing record of getting 100 rushing yards per game.
Oh, the Ravens. Yeah.
Yes, the Ravens. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So with like 3 seconds to go, instead of kneeling the ball, the Ravens had Lamar Jackson run off the left side and get 4 yards. And Vic Fangio was pissed. He was so mad. He's like, why are you doing that? You just let the game end. There's no point in running 4 yards. It's not playing the game to win the game. You're playing it for other stupid reasons. And it's like, so I love John Harbaugh's response was, I'm pretty sure there's no 14-point touchdown. It's not like you're about to come back and win the game with like 5 seconds to go.
Yeah.
So it's silly.
I think that tied the record. It's like 48 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's a record. I mean, people, if you're trying to keep your team invested, that's something that hypes your team up,
Right.
And that's worth it. Having a winning attitude and hyping your team up is so important to sports. So to act like you're not playing to win and you're playing for dumb stuff, it's just silly. It just shows that you don't have the cojones to make somebody mad just to keep your team going. All right. I don't have too much more with NFL talk. I don't think we missed anything super. Zach Wilson looked good. Justin Fields looked better, at least. Maybe that's a happens to play Detroit defense. Colts won.
Justin Fields, they said today, or Nagy said today. He's
Justin Fields is named the starting quarterback even when Andy Dalton's healthy. As if we didn't already know that.
Yeah.
It's just stupid that he acted like Dalton was the number one guy. I don't know. It just bugs me. Coaches do that, but it is what it is. Davis Mills, maybe one of the worst performances we've seen since Nathan Peterman. I think that's all we got. Vegas and Chargers game was a lot of fun. Justin Herbert looks like the real deal.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks so good. I think if Mitch were here, he'd be excited about what Herbert's been doing this year.
Mitch could talk to us and tell us all about it.
Yeah, but Mitch isn't here. So we don't have our resident Herbert expert, I guess we just move on.
Guess we can't inform you.
I guess we can't tell you anything about it. So sadly, Mitch left because his feelings got hurt. Maybe he thought I was talking over him. I don't know. It's all right. I'll see him tomorrow. We'll be at a coach's.
Your phone's probably blowing up right now.
Oh my gosh. We'll be at a coach's clinic tomorrow. Wisconsin youth basketball coaches clinic. And I'm interested to see what he has to say. See if he's mad tomorrow. I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. All right. That's enough football talk. Right now, the Major League Baseball playoffs are ongoing. The Red Sox defeated the Yankees yesterday by a score of, I believe, 6-2. Does that sound right, Matt?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. By a score of 6-2. Nathan Eovaldi looked really good. Now, Mac, you weren't here for this. On the eve of our show, when we first started the show, it was a strictly baseball podcast. It was myself, James Martin, and Jack Swees. Jack, after a year, left the show, said he didn't have the time to dedicate to make sure he's be here every week. Little did he know, most of my co-hosts wouldn't be here every week. But
that's why there's so many of us.
That's why there's so many. Exactly. I couldn't do this by myself every week. I couldn't do it. But we had a preseason awards prediction show. And we were all predicting AL Cy Young. Okay. And I think one person said Garrett Cole, the other said Justin Verlander. I don't remember what the predictions were. But Jack says, I got one that's going to surprise you guys, but I feel really good about it. We're like, all right, Jack, what you got? He's like, Nathan Eovaldi, Cy Young winner. And James and I never laughed so hard in our life. We're like, that guy's got no shot, Jack. No shot. He was like an awful pitcher the year before. He's like, his metrics say that he's going to be really good next year. He was so bad. He had one of the worst MLB seasons you could have. I think he got sent to the minors, or at least taken out of the rotation or something like that. So we laid into him all year. Maybe that's why he stopped being on the show. But now he was the best pitcher for the Red Sox this year. And it wasn't close. I mean, Sale was injured for the majority of the year, their ace, but he pitched a heck of a game against maybe one of the best lineups in the majors last night. In Boston against the Yankees, and he really shut them down. I mean, he had his first sign of trouble came in like the 6th inning or 5th inning, and he got yanked. But the Red Sox were just by far and away the better team than the Yankees last night. I mean, in baseball, any team can win a game. I mean, heck, the Rays didn't go winless, or not the Rays. The Tigers didn't go winless, and they were like the worst team in the league, and they'll beat some of the best teams out there. I mean, it's just how baseball works. You get a good night where your guys are hitting pitches, and you win the game. But the Red Sox looked dramatically better.
How did Boston get home field advantage?
Did they have exactly the same record? Because it depends on record. Let me see.
Overall record?
Yeah.
I thought they may have, maybe not.
Boston. Okay. So Boston had 92 and 70, and so were the Yankees. I want to what their divisional record is. I bet it's in conference record after that, because it's the wild card American League, or in league conference, or in league record, I should say. I'm sorry. Wild card. Let's see here. So Boston got wild card because I don't know. I don't know what the tiebreaker is.
Would it come down to what the series was between the two?
It could have been their head-to-head record. Is probably what it was. I imagine it was probably their head-to-head record. And then if it wasn't head-to-head, well, they played 17 games against each other, 19. So there wouldn't be any ties. So I imagine it's probably head-to-head record. If it wasn't that, then probably was like league record. So
yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy. That's crazy that the Yankees can pull it off.
Yeah. There was I think this is like the fourth time they've met each other in a winner decides all game in the playoffs. There was a game, I heard this while I was watching years and years ago, that was just the tiebreakers were all ties. So the final tiebreaker for home field advantage was a coin flip.
Oh my word.
And they flipped the coin and Boston got home field advantage. The Yankees owner, George Steinbrenner, was livid. He couldn't believe that the home field advantage was being decided by a coin flip. It just really tied his knickers up in a bunch. But they won the game on a go-ahead home run over the green monster in left field at Fenway that would never have gone over in Yankees because left field was way deeper. So if they weren't in Fenway, they probably wouldn't have won the game. Now, granted, things change. I mean, if you're at home, then you have the fans on your side and whatnot, and if you're playing at home, you should play better. But I thought that was an interesting little story that's how that had happened. That was not in a wild card game. They were tied at the end of the season. Whoever won went into the playoffs. So they had to just do a tiebreaker game. Right. Yeah. Pretty cool. Right now, the Cardinals are defeating the Dodgers 1-0. Wow. I'm interested to see what happens now. The Dodgers have 3 bases loaded, 1 out. So I think that the Cardinals are the hotter team. However, the Dodgers are overall the better team. I think as time goes on, the Dodgers are going to win this game, especially having bases loaded, 1 out. So
what's the inning? And then who's pitching?
It's bottom of the third. The Dodgers have Kershaw pitching and the Cardinals have Max Scherzer pitching. So, or no, is that Kershaw pitching? Yeah, it's Kershaw. No, it's not. It's shoot. Let me click here. It is. Give me 1 second. Dodgers. Scherzer. Scherzer's pitching. Duh. I forgot he got traded. Yeah, that makes sense. So, nice. As we look at the playoffs for the MLB season, let me click back really quick. Postseason schedule. We've got the Red Sox defeated the Yankees. The Red Sox will be playing the number 1 seed Tampa Bay Rays in Tampa. The White Sox will be traveling to Houston to play the Astros. That's in the American League. In the National League, the winner of this game between the Dodgers and St. Louis will be traveling to San Francisco to face the number 1 Giants with 107 wins. Yeah. 107 wins, man.
Franchise record.
Yeah. And then the Braves will be traveling to Milwaukee on Friday. I was actually hoping to go to this game. I still might go. I actually have Friday kind of off. The coaches clinic that we have should be done around 1. So I might drive down to Milwaukee and hit this game up, but
I'm actually looking at going back home for like the 20th on like
to San Francisco.
Yeah,
dude, you should absolutely go. Have you ever been to a Giants game before?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, it's one of probably my favorite stadium. When I went there for my honeymoon, I just loved that stadium. It was so cool. Very cold, very cold. I went there in July 25th, 26th, 27th, and it was freezing. I was shivering in me timbers.
MLB playoffs, it's like so few teams, like compared to NBA.
There's only 30 teams, and in baseball, if you aren't a top team, that drop off from 1 to like 8. If they had 8 teams, they would just shell them. They don't have the pitching, and baseball is such a war of attrition. So by the end of the year, the top teams are often the teams that have enough healthy guys to field a competitive team. That usually, if you're missing the playoffs, you're not a very good team, anyways. So I like having smaller playoffs. I hate NBA playoffs. I think they're so long. Yeah. You get so many bad teams.
Well, it's like another 3 more months of
playing. And you have so many. I mean, you make a lot more money that way for sure because you get more people watching games. So it's good for the league. But you have so many bad teams that have no business being in the playoffs. Like it's so rare that one of those low teams wins. Like in baseball, a wild card team wins.
Yeah,
far more often than you would than in any other league for sure. Because those wild card teams deserve to be there, whereas in other sports they really don't.
Do you want to give your predictions?
I do.
Okay,
I do want to give my predictions. Now, if you don't have predictions, that's fine. I can just go ahead and do mine.
I'm looking at the bracket right now, and I think I can make something up on the fly.
So we'll start with the American League. Tampa Bay versus Boston. I love Boston. I shouldn't say that. I hate Boston. But I think Boston is a really good team. I think home field advantage and just the way the Rays have played, they're such a well-rounded team. While they don't have the name and the star power like Boston has, They're just a well-rounded team, and I have a trouble picking against them against Boston. So I'm going to take the Rays to win that series.
Okay.
Let me pause my mic real quick and have Gronk go upstairs.
Okay. Hello, fans and listeners.
All right. So
wild card used to be a 3-game series, right? Or
it
5?
used to be. Well, okay. So before they added in the 5th team or the second wild card, there were only 4 teams per league. So the 4 seed just automatically played the 1 seed. So there was the no one play-in game. That's something new in the last like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
So.
And then you said Boston would have home field advantage?
No, Tampa Bay has home field advantage over Boston. So I think that's why I picked Tampa Bay. What about yourself?
I swear you said you picked Boston. But...
No, I like Boston, but I'm picking Tampa.
Okay. I'll pick Boston because I actually went up to Boston and went to a Red Sox game.
That makes perfect sense.
So I've seen them play and I know they're good.
All right. I love the logic. Houston Astros host the Sox. Now, the Astros have been one of the hottest teams in baseball over the last 4 or 5 years. Really, they've been to several World Series, won 1 or 2 of them. And they probably are the right choice here. However, the White Sox, this is their first time in the playoffs in a long time. And they were in, you know what? The more I talk about it, the more I can't do it. They're in probably the worst division in baseball with the Indians, Royals, Tigers, and Twins.
Yeah.
So I think that they made them look better. I can't pick the Sox over them, even though I think they're a very good team. I can't justify picking them over the Astros. So I'm going to pick the Astros here. So I've got Tampa Bay and the Astros in the American League.
I'll go Astros too. I think they've got a chip on their shoulder. I think they've got something to prove.
Let's move over to the NLDS. Whether the Dodgers or the Cardinals win tonight, I'm still going to pick San Francisco. They've given me no reason to pick anyone else. I mean, when they've played good teams, they've beaten them. And over the year, they've just won consistently. So it's hard for me not to pick the number 1 team in baseball this year. So I'm picking the Giants to progress.
I would also pick the Giants. I think that's going to be a tough series regardless. Like that'll go probably to the max.
So I feel bad for James because I think this is the best team the Braves have had in a long time. But
which is crazy because they started off so bad.
They did. But they've been playing really well to end the year. They've had a tough division too.
They cut Pablo, right?
Yep. Well,
or traded him.
That's not much.
Well, he was like their superhero because he had a bunch of.
Sure. They traded him to the Indians, who then immediately cut him.
Yeah.
I picked all favorites, haven't I? I should pick the White Sox. I'm picking the Milwaukee Brewers. I think the Brewers have the best pitching in baseball, and in baseball, good pitching carries you to the playoffs. It's the most important part of the playoffs. So I take the Brewers to win this, especially being at home.
I'm going to go Braves because I have 2 friends that are Braves fans.
I love it.
And I have 7 friends that are Milwaukee fans.
I was saying, I think you have a lot of Brewers fans going to college in Wisconsin. Going on from there, we have the Giants versus the Braves. We'll start with National League on this side. Who do you have going to the World Series this year? I'm sorry, you have Giants Braves. I have Giants Brewers.
I would say Giants, and I think this is going to be a 4-game series. A sweep.
You think they're going to sweep?
I think they'll sweep.
Wow, that would be crazy. I don't know if we've seen in a championship series sweep in quite a while. I'm going to take actually the Brewers over the Giants here. While I think the Giants are the better overall team, again, I think that the Brewers pitching and their bullpen throughout is going to be able to shut down the Giants pretty well. I mean, not to the point where they're not going to score, but I think that advantage is going to be huge for them in the playoffs as they just have such a deep starting rotation.
I want to say that series between Giants and Brewers, the Brewers are up on us.
I believe they are. It's really close though. I know that every game has been like really well contested, several extra innings games. I went to one of them.
But they won't be playing the Brewers. They'll play Atlanta. So
well, if they play Atlanta, I think if they play Atlanta, I would pick the Giants to win if they played Atlanta. Next, I have the Rays versus the Astros. Rays versus Astros, and I'm going to take the Rays in that one. I think the Rays go back to the World Series this year after they won the World Series last year. Or I'm sorry, they didn't win after they went to the World Series last year.
And then I have Boston versus Astros, and I think probably the Astros. I think they're just
please no. I don't want to see the Astros in the World Series again, Mac.
Okay, then Boston.
No, you can pick the Astros.
Oh,
Okay,
actually, yeah,
Jeez.
Boston.
Okay, you're gonna go with Boston.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Because I went to a Boston game and I saw them play, and they're good. And then a Boston Giants World Series would be cool.
I could have been doing something really cool here. I have my hat collection, and I could have been showing you a hat for like almost every single one of these. I've got the Astros and the
You
Dodgers.
just start over.
I've got the Brewers.
The fans
I
don't have
got
to know.
the White Sox. I've got Braves.
You don't have a
and
Dodger hat, do you?
I do, and
Oh.
Giants. I get a hat every stadium I go to. So, yeah, there's Dodgers right there. So,
Boo.
yeah. Okay. So I have in the World Series, we've got, for me, is the Rays versus the Brewers, and for you, you have the Red Sox versus the Giants. Who are you going with?
Yeah.
Going with the Giants.
I'm going with the Giants, and I also am going to predict a sweep on this one too. And I think it's just going to be like a big old.
Oh my gosh, Mac! You're picking 2 sweeps to end the to end the playoffs.
I think the Giants have just been like disregarded and slept on by the entire East Coast and the league.
I mean, I think at the beginning of the year, yeah, but not now. I mean, they have 107 wins. How can you sleep on them?
I hardly see anything about it.
Well, you just don't follow enough baseball.
Well, I'm on Twitter. I mean,
yeah, but like if you don't, baseball is not a very highly social
sport
community or sport. It doesn't get the press that it used to, especially compared to football. If you don't follow the right people, you're not going to see anything. But like, yeah, you're right. Red Sox, Yankees, and Dodgers get more media, but everyone knows the Giants are good.
Yeah, but I think it's just going to be like a wake-up call to the league. Like,
all right, I'm going to go with your Milwaukee Brewers. So I saved it for the end.
All right.
I've got the Brewers again.
I think the
pitching is so good, and their offense is good enough. I've seen time and time again the team with the best pitching wins the World Series.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to happen here. So I've got Brewers. All right, this has been a fun episode. I've really enjoyed it, Mac. Thanks for coming on. I don't know why your brother is such a baby, but I mean, I knew he wanted to like point out statistically that Tyler Heinicke is better, but no matter what he said statistically, it wasn't going to convince me that Tyler Heinicke is better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill. I don't know why he had to jump off because of that, but whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So this has been the Swing Bump Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. We are about to right now go record our Bunt Pod picks to continue our competition for you guys. Be sure to like the video or the podcast wherever you are watching or listening, and subscribe also so you can get alerts about future episodes that come out. We really appreciate if you tell your friends about us. That's the best way to grow the show. Another great show is give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or talk to people in the comments. The more action we get, just the better it is for the show. I know that there's quite a few things that I support or follow, and I know how much work goes into creating content, and it just goes a long way. I'm like, you know what? It's so easy for me to click like. I'm just going to do it just to help these guys out. So we really appreciate it if you do that. There's a lot of work we put into the show, and we all have very busy schedules. So I don't know why I'm begging, but thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.
Who's your World Series MVP for the Brewers?
World Series MVP, Corbin Burns.
Okay, mine is Brandon Crawford for the Giants. All right. And this has been the Swing Bunt.
We'll catch you guys next week. Enjoy the show. Make sure you go listen to our Bunt Pod Picks episode and submit your picks for a chance to win $20. It is a free contest. Please go to our Twitter, #Bunt Podcast. Right? That's right, Mac.
Or you said the hashtag.
I'm sorry, at Bunt Podcast. Mac tweets out our episode every week, our Bunt Pod picks, where we show you the picks that we have. All you have to do, look at the 16 games that we post, and we post the spreads right there for you, and you just comment the teams that you think cover the spread. It's that easy.
And then if you keep up every week, you got a shot at $100 at the end of the year.
Sure. We have to do really bad though if you haven't started, because considering we already have a 20 game head start, probably.
Yeah, and last week's kind of came out really late, so
it is what
that intern's been fired.
All right, Mac. We will catch you guys later. Bye.